Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about here is our option for the potential of upside. Now, what we were looking for here was either this move to be looking to break to the upside in a corrective fashion, in which case we would be looking at something like this as a bigger W, X, and a Y. Now, what we were talking about was this Y wave potential of coming up here towards this zone of this 27,730. So there was a few reasons why we were looking at this area. What we're looking at was actually coming up and potentially coming back into this zone of resistance that we've got here illustrated by this white box, which is towards this 27,715 to this 27,490 area. So what are we looking for here is effectively a three-wave move to the upside. Now, what we would also be on the lookout here is the fact that this could also potentially be a five-wave move if this is going to be something like a flat correction. So we need to just keep that in mind. So the way that we'd be looking at this as a corrective move to the upside would actually be looking at this move as an A, B, and a C. Now, what I'm looking for here is, because of the fact of the overlap within this wave here, I am treating it as a corrective way, but there is the potential that this could actually develop into an impulse. So we'll go over that in a second. Now, what I'm looking for here is basically within the structure, we have this potentially as a W wave to the downside. This is an X, and then looking for the possibility of this Y wave. This Y wave could potentially bring us down here towards this 26,464 area. Now, this would be an interesting level because we also do have a daily naked point of control here towards this zone of this 26,440. So if we do see a move down towards this 1-to-1, potentially what we could see is a move through this level looking to actually take this out. Alternatively, we also do have a daily naked point of control lower down here towards this zone of this 26,238. So this could be a zone that we actually look to actually move into and find support. So that 618 would actually be here towards this zone of this 26,276 region to this 26,242 area. So this would be right in that golden pocket. So that would also bring us down to a 1.618 of the W wave. Now, the thing we'd have to be careful here is if we do push down to this 1.618, we'd have to be on the lookout for the potential of a three-wave move to the upside and further rejection. So if we do move down this low, we're going to have to see exactly how the structure is within that. If it is impulsive, we need to be very careful because that would mean that the bearish count is more likely. So what I'm looking for here is basically to see a three-wave move to the downside and then reversal to the upside. If this move had to only come down to this 1-to-1, which would be here at this 26,464, this would actually move this target area up higher here. And what we would then see is that this 1-to-1 would actually be looking to come back into some of this higher area here. And what we could actually see is a potential triple top here, where we see price move back up here, break this zone, fail it, and then actually look to move to the downside. Now, obviously, there is always the potential that if we have a three-wave move to the upside, this could be A, we could get B, and then we could get a C wave, which looks to push us up higher here. So we're going to have to monitor this and see exactly how the waves play out. Now, the other way we were discussing this as a potential was looking for the idea of having a five-wave move to the upside. So what we were talking about previously was actually looking at this move as an impulse, but the way that it's developed here has made me have to change how I'm looking at this. So we could potentially argue that this is a expanding diagonal here as a wave 1, and we could be looking for a wave 2 lower down. Now this would be looking towards this 26,404 to this 26,099. Now I don't really like this because it would have to be an expanding diagonal, and they are not as common as the contracting variation. The alternative way we could look at it is that the gray count is actually in play here. Now once again, the reason I don't like this count is because of the size of this fourth wave in comparison to this as a wave 2. So because of the fact that it's quite large here, we need to just be aware that it is less probable. But nevertheless, if we do continue to maintain this zone of this 26,642 and then see a five-wave move to the upside here towards this zone of this 27,000 to this 27,130, what we could actually see is this 1618 crossed here at this 27,076. Moving past that would make me look for additional fourth and fifth, which could look to push us up towards this zone of this 27,274 to this 27,142. Now, what we'd want to see then is effectively having another 1-2, and then this would need an additional five-wave move to complete if this is the case. Otherwise, the structure would be it just wouldn't fit anymore. So this is a lower degree confidence within this count. What I'm cautious of here is that a move down past this zone of this 26,549 would actually invalidate this possibility of this gray count here, but it wouldn't invalidate the possibility of coming down lower here, looking to actually take out this daily naked point of control here, potentially look to swing fail this low, and then looking for, you know, possibility of continuation to the upside. So this is what we'll have to be careful of if we're looking for the possibility of a 5-wave move. Now, if we did manage to hold support here towards this 26,099, what we could then see is continuation to the upside in a bigger 5-wave move, looking towards this zone of this 27,990. Now, these moves obviously depend on how deep we come here. If we follow the gray count, this white count would change completely. But if we did follow this white count, what we'd effectively be looking for is the potential to see a move back up here towards this 28,398 to this 28,147. Now, if we did get a move like this, we'd have to be cautious because this could just be A, B, and C, and then we could actually look to swing fail this high here, which is sitting towards this zone of this 28,333. And what we'd be looking for then is either potential to just come into this high, reject, and actually look to move down one more time, or alternatively, what we could see is this move come up here and potentially extend into this top channel area that we have. So this would be quite an interesting level if we do actually move up here and we reject from this zone. Now, if we did reject here, this would tie into the idea of actually having the bigger corrective structure as either this as a W and X, and then we're looking for a Y, or alternatively where we're looking at this as a 333, where we're treating this as W, X, Y, X, and then we're still looking for a Z. So the 0.618 of this previous X wave is sitting here towards this zone of this 28136. So this is why I'm looking for that possibility of a corrective structure. Now, it is also technically possible if we do move up higher that we could see something play out like a flat correction from further back here, where we would be treating this as a C wave from over here, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But what we'd need to see is a move past this 29,587 to confirm this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So there is still potential here for as long as we hold this low here of this 25,812 that we could see continuation to the upside in a 5-wave move. But until we actually see that materialize, we need to just be aware that we still have the bearish count. So now we're going to go over that bearish count. The bearish count is actually looking at this as an incomplete move to the downside, where we're treating this as a triangle and this as a potential 5th wave that's still in play. Now, basically what we'd be looking for is something like this, where this is a 3rd, 4th, and a 5th. So the typical target area here we would be looking for a 5th wave would actually be lower down here towards this 25,399 to this 24,752. Now, if we are looking at this, this would indicate that we're actually going to be extending out here unless we form something like a diagonal here, where this becomes ABC for 1, then we get a wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5, something like this, in which case, you know, possibly we might protect this area. But some other key areas that I'd be looking for here would be the yellow here is a 1-to-1 of the wave 1, and then we also have the 0.382 of the wave 1 to 3 and the 0.618 of the wave 1 to 3. So we've actually come down into this zone already. So we're talking about the possibility we need to be careful of looking for extension to the upside. If we start to break up in a bigger way, this could actually mean that this 5-wave sequence is actually just completed, and this would mean that from further back here what we actually have is a completed A, B, and a C, where this is A, B, and then this is a C wave already completed. In which case, if this is a completed correction, we need to be careful of a reversal to the upside and taking these highs. Moving up above these highs would indicate that we have trend continuation to the upside. What we could also see here, as we discussed in the previous video, is the possibility that this breakdown is not completed. Now, what this could look like is effectively something like this. So we were talking about this rejection area here of this 27,149 to this 26,686. Now we have actually come into this, we've come into this golden pocket area here of this 26,929 to this 26,877. So what we want to see here is, if this is a completed wave 2 here, what we'd want to see is an additional 5-wave move to the downside. Now 1.618 would be down towards this area here of this 24,283 268 given the current price structure, and then we'd be looking for additional fourth wave to the upside towards 25,300, and then an additional fifth wave which could look to push us down towards this 24,153 to this 23,800. So this is what we're looking on the lookout here for. You know, if this fails to actually break back above these the 786 here at this 27,149, we could see continuation. Now it is possible that this could still be a corrective move, and potentially this is W, this is X, and then we're looking for this as a Y wave here, in which case we might actually see a challenge of this 786, but invalidation of this as an impulse to the downside comes by actually crossing this 27,510. Now I want to discuss a couple of other things here. So if we look at this volume profile for the whole range, we can see here that we actually have come down through this value area low, and we've actually managed to come back into it. Now if we remain above this value area low, there is always the probability that we could see a move up towards this point of control here, which is sitting towards the zone of this 28,090, and then higher up here we also have this value area high sitting towards the zone of this 28,657. So these will be targets if we do look to move to the upside that we need to keep in consideration. Now if we just look at the weekly here, what we can also see is that we've actually come back up from this value area low, and we've actually come into this value area high. Now what we could see here is a slight pushback to the upside, and potentially looking to retest this if this is not completed, where, you know, maybe we have one more push up here and then we look to break to the downside. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this center line here, which is sitting towards this 27,062, as well as this value area high that we have. Now if we want to look at the monthly that we have so far, we can also see that we did find support down here on this value area low, and we have actually rejected off this point of control. Now if we do look to continue to reject here and lose this value area low here, what we could see is continuation to the downside. However, if we do actually manage to break back above this, potentially what we could then see is a bigger move up towards this zone of this value area high, which would be up here towards the zone of this 28,181. Now a move up into this level would probably indicate that by this stage we would have had the possibility of this actually playing out as a flat correction, in which case, like I said, I would be looking out for the potential of a swing failure or for this zone of this 28,331, or potentially looking to actually come a little bit higher into this channel and then look for that rejection to the downside. So we're going to have to give it a bit of space and see exactly how the move plays out, but we do have the potential for movement up here if we do manage to move back above this point of control. This is going to be a very key level here. You know, rejecting off of this to the downside could actually you know, cause that sell-off that we are looking for in that bearish case, though, you know, what we could still see is finding support above this value area low, and then looking for that possibility of continuation to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Everyone have a great day. See you in the next one. Take care.